Artturi Lehkonen scored one of the biggest goals in the last couple of decades of Habs hockey. Let's roll the dirty old film here. You know what one I'm talking about. Gee, was that ever a special moment? Sending the Canadiens to the Stanley Cup Finals, where, they got murdered by the Lightning. Anyway, it was a lot of fun, and young 26-year-old Artturi this season has the Canadiens fans puzzled. Okay, what are we going to do with this guy? Do you trade him or do you keep him? And in this video, I'm going to tell you why I think Artturi Lehkonen should be traded away to another team. That's right, we're going to dedicate this whole video to Turkey. But first, before we begin, if you're a fan of the Habs or just watching Austin Matthews' overtime heroics, then please consider subscribing to my channel as I upload a ton of hockey content and would really enjoy having some more of you grasshoppers tag along for the ride. Now, the Montreal Canadiens have won a pile of games since Marty St. Louis came to town, okay? Yet somehow, they still managed to find themselves right at the bottom of the Atlantic. Just like poor Jack over here. Not only the Atlantic, but the entire league. Okay, thanks to... It's amazing, really. At this point, it almost feels like destiny that the Canadiens finish last at least this year. I think it would be a shame for them to climb themselves out of the gutter now and lessen their lottery chances. But of course, at the same time, you can't really tell the players to, throw the games either. So, the best way to aim for Shane, or whoever else you got in mind, is to sell. Get rid of some players, bring in some more prospects and some picks, get younger. And finally, put this ship in the right direction within the next couple of seasons. There's a lot of players on the team right now, they've got expiring contracts, and because of this, there's been a ton of trade rumors. We've got about, 50 goalies in the system now, for God's sake? It's insane! And while I don't expect, 9 or 10 trades to happen between now and the trade deadline, realistically, I'd like to see 3 guys get moved. Number 1 being Ben Chiarot. My reasoning behind Ben is because, what's the point of hanging on to him for the remainder of the season just to watch him potentially sign somewhere else during the summer anyway? We've been burned on that in the past, and you don't want to make the same mistake again. Number 2, I also expect one of the cellar dweller players to get moved, whether that's Andrew Hammond or a Hairdo or Chris Weidman or Brett Kulak. Teams are going to be looking at depth, and these players are just that, depth. Maybe one of these guys can get moved. And number 3, of course, we can't forget that number. I also think that Artturi Lehkonen should get moved, and this is what we're going to talk about right now. Mr. Artturi Lehkonen has been quietly having himself a career year. Each and every night, he's been bringing his A game, and right now, it almost feels like he's at his peak. Yeah, we're seeing the peak of the Turkey train right now. Check out the stats. He's already got 13 goals and 15 assists, and he's putting up numbers like these at a low cost, unlike this Turkey. Teams are definitely going to have their sights on him. He's making $2.3 million, which is, again, a very affordable contract for a guy that can add scoring depth to your lineup. And the beauty of all this is he's set to become an RFA at the end of the season. What a deal! Out of all the players that are supposedly on the Canadiens trade block right now, this guy is probably the most interesting. He's eye candy right now. He's just such a versatile player because you can put him anywhere and he's not going to look at a place. Go ahead, trade him to Toronto and put him in net. I dare you. If the Habs were a stock market right now, the stock of Artturi Lehkonen is at an all-time high. Let's not forget, just last season, he was nothing to get too excited about. But here we are today, and the Canadiens are clearly in a position where they are sellers, and Lehkonen's stock just so happens to be red hot. He might look like Artturi Lehkonen right here in this picture, but watch what happens when we put Jágr's hair on him. Oh my god, do you see what I see? Yeah, that is Artturi Jágr, boys. So we've heard Kent Hughes compare the value of hockey players to the stock market time and time again. Sometimes the stocks are high, and that's when you gotta sell them. Well, I'm just saying, Turkey's red hot right now. And my question to you is, how much is he worth? Okay, because there seems to be a lot of mixed theories. Some people are thinking he's worth a first-round pick. Some people think less. Hell, some people even think more, including former Tampa Bay Lightning and Ottawa Senators head coach Guy Boucher. He would say, quote, If you only have a first round pick in return, you don't trade him. You only have 40% of first round picks that actually become NHL players. That's right. Boucher seems to think that a first round pick for Turkey is what we like to call a slap in the face. He wants more. God, he always wants more, this guy. But as for me, I'd be tickled with a first round pick for Lehkonen. If it's a 2023 first round draft pick, I'd even be more tickled. Because we should not be afraid to trade Lehkonen. Yes, he's playing the best hockey of his career right now, and yes, we're all gonna miss that little smile of his when he's gone. But if Canadiens fans feel like Artturi Lehkonen is irreplaceable, or you're not going to get another Lehkonen through the draft, then you are in big trouble. Here's a comment that was made on Twitter a few days ago. It's a bit of a head scratcher, and yeah, I couldn't agree more. This is exactly why I'm in favor of trading Lehkonen right now, before the trade deadline. It's not because I don't like him. I've always liked him since he's been here. But if you can bring in a high pick or a talented prospect, maybe both, then you gotta do it all day long. Now, thefourthperiod.com has listed a few teams here that could be interested in Lehkonen. We've got the Washington Capitals, the New York Rangers, because, well, of course, right, the Gordy connection. The Minnesota Wild are said to be interested, and the LA Kings, where he could be reunited with former teammate Philip Deneau and Mr. Bergevin as well. And I don't know if you guys have been noticing this, but it seems like a lot of teams around the NHL right now are getting pretty banged up. They've been slapped with injuries. Players are falling apart everywhere, teams are scrambling, and trade talks are only going to heat up as a result of this. These knuckleheads over here at thefourthperiod.com also made note of his value, stating that the conversation starts with a first round pick. Interesting. Yeah. So, as I mentioned in the last Habs news update, Kent Hughes recently did an interview with Eric Engels, and when he was asked specifically about trading Lehkonen, Hughes kinda, brushed it aside. He claimed he's not openly trying to trade Lehkonen, he says. But just like he wasn't trying to trade Tyler Toffoli, if the right deal comes along, then old Turkey's gonna be packaged up in a box and shipped express. Anyway, guys, that does it for this video. Some of you may not agree with my comments on trading Lehkonen, and that's fine. We don't have to agree on everything. If you want to keep him, tell me why down in the comments section. But keep in mind, okay, it's not because I don't like him. Let me know all about it. Don't forget to drop kick the like button on the way out of here. And hey, I'll see you next time.